the parliamentary seat or election to a parliamentary a member of parliament is in doubt, the High Court is seized with the original jurisdiction in this matter. So where parliamentary results of parliamentary elections are in doubt in some respective constituencies, any person aggrieved with the declaration conducted by official
themselves don't realize that they are just a tool in the hands of some people close to the vice president and some other people. They are not aware that the project, as cooked by people close to the vice president, is even almost close to 300 million. I have here a document of the presentation by the Ministry of Finance themselves that.
All right, let me give you a special welcome once again to the studios of Radio Culture, and this is another day in the Christmas festive. Said there will be a chilling war feeling. Season one, it's not over yet, but I'm sure your life will not be over yet. Don't let this festive season be a day, and no moment the back I will say, as I feel in as soon as you yet. So I breviation or benting a free more. Let us all be stay positive and stay healthy as well. Be mindful of what you eat out there and be mindful of where you go. Festive season we say do one my chilling no baby I feeling it tight. Now so no the friends you move out with no and I be defining your next day whether you will live or not. And I say the poison also. Upie na sa wo kona sa wo ba insa no for ade fa ko insu no for ade fa ko oba asaba no mo ade ato so. If you think where you are taking it to, no, it is not healthy enough, especially the restroom or the washroom. No more na kona fasi wana ko. In a special good afternoon to you doing the watching and the listening right here in the studios of Radio Culture. And this, we are going to give you a recap of all the stories happening here. Definitely this year, the most important ones, we are going to do a recap of it. We have our reporters and some of our team, across everywhere in Ghana, baby. With time, they will join us. They will also update on the stories now. You bet wherever you are, I want you to join me on Facebook. Facebook News Now. Facebook GH News Now. It's YouTube also live. YouTube is with them. Okay, so it's only Facebook, right? So on Facebook and YouTube, okay. Facebook is GH News Now. YouTube is also GH News Now. Na ye nkomo, ye be di nkomo ni ababa nsem ni mu a sada meka kire wo no. 28th December 2024. I got just some few days, not 2024. Echo. I got just some few days, not 2024. Echo. And we are not going to get it back again. In this year, you are not going to get it back again. It's either you get a regret and now say you appreciate your action. Now, starting off with Jackson. Jackson is online.
Yeah,
Jackson.
Good afternoon.
My brother.
Yes, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How did the Christmas go for you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. It's quite okay. Not
All
as
right.
it is before. In the previous years, by the one I'll be in store now.
Okay.
We are enjoying the festival. Yeah. What about you? Your side? How is everything going over there?
It was I would call it a Sakura Christmas for some people. A greater majority of the people,
Wow.
because none of them were able
How
to
would you
get what
define
they
that?
needed to have for Christmas. Because if you're being in the past, when you pass through people's house or behind their windows, you could smell that something is cooking. That did not happen much this year. And I see the
Now, you
people
said
rather
it's a
sitting
Sakura
under.
Christmas. How would you define that? You
Yes.
explain it to our viewers.
Yeah, I think there's a break in communication. Can you hear me?
Hello,
please?
Jackson. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Let me.
Wow. The network is really, really bad. But yes, still no, we did upon it. Yeah, but yeah, the crown I show no because so.
resource for the Electoral Commission to do what it is doing. In fact, Jane Mensa has become a danger to our democracy because you see, she cannot be a law unto itself. The Electoral Commission is subject to the Constitution and subject to regulation CI 127. CI 127 is very clear that
Yes,
Nice
I'm
one
back.
there. We are still back right here in the studios of Radio Coach. Network and yeah, rough. The network doesn't want us to do the show, but yes, still no question. Dear Kwana, we'll still back. We will still be back to give you all the stories. Like I said, this is a special one for you every Saturday. So join us wherever you are. Join us on Facebook, that is GH News, on YouTube, GH News now. We'll be having an in-depth discussion of whatever, everything, all the stories are happening over the weekend, probably within this year. No? All the stories, ever so more. And we'll be going back to Jackson, Teshi, Lejokuku, very soon. We're having a discussion with him before the network, at a call, but still now your best answer about what you see. So let's go back. Let's go back to Jackson. Jackson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, back to you once again. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, the network is very terrible.
Yeah.
So I was saying it was a Sakura Christmas because people didn't really have fun. In the past, you could see that people mounted sound systems outside their homes and were playing music so that anybody walking from any part of the community could just, in case they were playing your kind of song, you would go there and dance. It did not happen this time. Everybody was crippled financially, I could tell you. Those who had the money and would have enjoyed the Christmas very well are the people I am thinking belong to the losing party. So they couldn't even celebrate.
Now, Jackson, hold on for me right there. And I'm going back to because you are back on the line. I know so about life, and your man welcome. I understand what also that one. Because you back on. Good afternoon, sir.
Boss, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Wamiha.
Okay. Yeah, that's 46 minutes past 3. We are gradually getting into the evening. Sir.
Nature say fufone ya ben, fufone brene ya ben.
Omo twetwe bi dia kwesi ani nso twetwe bi. Wa wo nso ntimi onni twetwe bi no. Ebi nso de o ma beti igbo akonhoma. I hope
repeat it.
I was just asking about how things are faring over there.
Oh, it's very nice. Here in Texas, there's no snow at all. And in New York, it has snowed heavily. I have seen one single drop of snow.
Hey.
As a matter of fact, my backyard garden, every year I'm cooking tomatoes. The weather in Texas is very different. We are enjoying it here. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Last year, we got tomatoes around this time, not because of the weather. No. But this year, up to now, still, they harvested fruit.
Okay. Now, how is the festive season going on over there? How is the festive season, the Christmas? How
festive season
today?
I have to say the part of America. Yeah, that's right. The part of America, the only sign of festivity, I mean, why I'm out for decorating fee. That's it. I live in a part of the country, and you may not even know who lives next door to you, 3 doors away. But what's happening in my neighborhood is as a competition, lights, and yes, I'm going to do an adjoa. Lights, Christmas decorations, Santa Claus, those type of things. As a competition, but that's the only sign I mean, festivity was. Everything else will be actually or yeah.
Okay, even though you are not in Ghana, Justice made mention of Sakura Christmas. Let me put it that way, per his own words. I'm sure you also have relatives right here in Ghana. How were the conversation you've had with them? No, how are they also feeling over here?
It's interesting because on one hand, I've heard about the Sakura Christmas. On another hand, I've heard about people who are bringing out their last Obiba last Kalu to come and celebrate the fact that we are having a change of government. So I have reports of people who would bring out their very last, and it's not even about it's just about the joy of the moment. And I feel like Ghanaians are having one of the best Christmases in their lives.
This year, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hello? Yeah, can you hear me?
Is there a delay or something?
I think that there is a delay.
There is a delay because of the network. I don't think it's not flowing as it should be. But it's quite okay. We will just manage it as compared to it going off and coming back again. We will just manage it this way.
I think that the change in government, the internet connectivity is going through it also. It's changing fiber. It's also switching over.
Well, Jackson, he also said that the Sakura, that is the Sakura Christmas, as a result of those that lost our money, that has contributed.
Oh, Umanume too. They can't eat. So all the money saved and Ediana was about Ediana. I say I bet you more ye beside Christmas now but maybe I didn't go out, but I know the community I live in. These roadside nightclubs, it didn't happen. Where you see people keep wake till late midnight into the next morning. There were a couple of people who shot some Christmas rockets into the skies. Well, that's okay, but that's just how much it lasted. There is no fanfare. But I am believing and hoping that they are saving the best of the moment for 7th January.
But don't you think that the first
I think that's what's happening as well. I think people are just waiting for 7th January.
Okay.
The real celebration is going to come after we've seen the swearing in of the new president.
Okay,
all that's happening, even after we voted, right?
Okay, Abdul is also on the line. Abdul, how are you doing? You're welcome.
Hey,
fine.
Before some about Kwesi was saying something. Please finish with your submission before I go back to Abdul.
Oh no, I was just backing up what Jackson was saying, and I was saying, I think the real celebration will come after January 7th when the new president has been sworn in, because you say the electoral commission is still unpredictable at this point. Me personally, anyone wants to say best immense about Bekacha say the Mojama Magniko declare the crop, Masakwa collecting for any one. Right?
Okay.
The Electoral Commission has become so unpredictable. So we're just waiting for the time when the new president will actually be sworn in and say, okay, power actually transitioned. And then that's when I think the real Miliki power never started.
Okay. Now, to me, let's do it in a dicey way. Let me play the devil's advocate over here. Don't you think that we've gotten to a time that Christmas, as a said an ACT years ago, no? I feel I'm as yes, yeah, we are dada, yeah, no me and dada, so it's not a new thing. And yeah, no man are calling for these changes.
Let me tell you something. Okay, please come in.
No, go, Jackson, go.
You see, okay, in the past, when I was born, in my era, when Christmas bar special because that's when you see right. But these days, early in the morning when you're in your bed, somebody is cooking check to go and sell. When you're everywhere you go, there is rice. So I mean, it doesn't make Christmas as interesting as it used to be anymore, because what you eat and enjoy during Christmas, it is an everyday experience now. Music is playing everywhere, rice is being sold everywhere, chicken is being sold everywhere. So I don't know. This is what makes Christmas not to be as interesting as it used to be.
Yes. All right. So, Koshiba, to you as well. How do you also see it? Is it not a normal thing that we do every day that has contributed to no changes at all?
No, Jackson is right. Jackson is right largely because to say back in the day, Nasa, if you be on the point, right?
Yes.
Now these days, at least people can even go to the cold store and buy chicken. Whether it's, fake chicken as in Akoko, right? But whether it's false or not, chicken is chicken. You might not be even able to tell when they're cooking it. It's a factor, again, Yesusa now there was certain things and make Christmas more exciting, right? Apart from say, that's the time when you are going to get the chicken and the Fanta and the rice and whatnot. Now young also as children, where normal need to be bronya pata. I don't know how many of these days know anything about bronya pata, right? But now the kids in the neighborhood, they're back together. We'll go and cut palm fronds. Near bebo bronya pata. Bronya pata no neighborhood ni mo biasa me chips. Could you mamma you can say Fanta, Obi Manwe, near Sanbi Shawo, near Kasa Yaya party, small one be in the Bronya Pata. That's the kids in the area, right? And the fun part for me, was that you are to Bronya Pata. For me, that was the best part. You did Bronya after the first, second, they could try to the Bronya Pata. That's why some of the things the man a year more. For us. Now remember, say Ebia and Krani so something very exciting.
Okay.
Right? Because regardless, Ebia or didn't quite special sorry be special people fear or whatever. But for us as adults, these things are losing their value for us. Right? Okay. Again, Osha BB for the Christmas or on the eve of Christmas, not the presents are better too. You can say Christmas tree, I say, and whatnot. These days, someone for even the kids, as that who said, they be a papa and a quarter no money by Santa Claus be So I think people are going wiser to the idea. Say it's just some little celebration, but at the end of the day, money chips these days, right? It looks like these things are more affordable now than before.
Yes, if I can come in the past, when it was Christmas, that is when families converge in a particular member, let's say Ebusia Penyin's house, everybody would come. That is the only time you would hear or see. We had a musical machine called Changer, where they use the LP plate. It uses 12 batteries, and if the 12 batteries wouldn't go the distance, they will connect it to car batteries, and that is when you be giving your clothes, your shoes, and everything. But these days, everybody is listening to music on their phones. People have access to Bluetooth devices. So it has taken the beauty out of Christmas. That thing that we always seek for is no more there. And when it is Christmas now, compared to Christmas in the early 70s to the 80s and to the last 90s, people would come during the Christmas festivities. But let me ask you, has anybody visited you? We are using mobile phones, do video calls, and that is there. So there's no human contact during Christmas anymore. So these things that unite us are no more there. They don't add beauty and value to the Christmas anymore. It is just us. If I want to see you, I do a video call. This is causing human contact to be on the decline during Christmas festivities. And I feel sad that my cousins don't come here anymore. I don't go to them anymore. Christmas is not the Christmas it used to be. Yeah.
Okay, now hold on for me, Abdul.
All right, Synergy.
Yeah, man, sir.
German South there, I have a call. Esmas and make us a German. Esmas and a cost ye power her.
There's a muda switching
because you hear political wise, I say. Politics no nanka ekoba say enka one party na enya ni nyina wo German South anka no na ebeha, but they will be can say NPP enya parliamentary no ha and NDC so enya presidential, you know obi anya binti aye 1-1 and everybody is enjoying this. Yeah.
Hello, Abdul.
Okay, Synergy.
Na momo ho na mono said ya kase nkrofo di bronya no enji san bia my as compared to said na years ago na ye di no ye yankwa ye be hye bronya ntare obefa e box bi ekura na mafiefie mu na ye ji bronya de no eguso koso de e bia yemfa ne se mo ho na mo de yemfa ne se kronkitua mu saa no e da so koso pa
Sai be bra bi ti say me kai say me sua no nanka ye no nanka bronya se ne ye hye ye bronya atare na fe pie abonten ye ko afisiapa ene say uhu obi a onim na wo chia na waka afisiapa o na eno no de gi ade no e wo say nipa no timi to ade ma biscuit ana say ade bi sa, but no nkola no is like entisa ase obi ampese ne ba ebekwa akosresra ade wa abonten sa ntino akwa say adane kakra ena ai kan na yesi bronya dua no aha no na ye yusu bode ye twa bode dua na ankasa anase kwadu ne dua na ankasa na aja ye tu amna na ye de asim afi de balu abobo so biscuit na de ba na de bronya dua no time no so ye 25 no me hwe kroma na me hu sa ade ne biem obehu na obi de balu na abo ne store keke me ka na de abom, but I to say okotwa brode dua no anase kwadu dua no de no de who be standing na first na ye no nti asesa kakra asesa.
now let me okay. That's all. How do we see the times and yama and Korakwaji bronya de? And then nowadays they believe say Okwaji will be there or the best year will ba into that's kind of feeling around your Kwaji bronya de na tekono. For us all, may I sure say one way or the other, Obia GBBD. Either we being Christians, Muslims, or traditional, whatever, GBBD, and I'm a boy.
Yeah.
And you know, said bronya. And they said, yeah, you who is so called you will be there, will be best say, you know, that how do you also switch? Let me start it from Jackson.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, in the past, nipa who dopa who be ba one kasa uba, but we have people who want to make money without sweating. They want money to chase them, not them chasing after the monies. we see and hear strange things happening. If you listen to the stories that took place in Pasua, where even children were trying to kill other younger children for monetary reasons. So there is this fear of you could be charmed with whatever type of voodoo they have in their food or their clothes or drinks they give you, and it could make their children walk out of their house and not come home anymore. And if you watch TV these days, there's a lot of missing children on TV. It is very, very alarming. And so parents have warned themselves, they have advised themselves not to allow their children loiter around during the festive occasions. And we also have strange people from our neighboring countries within us who are stealing children, and they are using cookies and every other thing to steal children and use them for ritual purposes for money. And so because of that, nipas ropa nipas say omoba bekwakoji baby edi. I heard a story where a cookie was given to a child and he came home and packed his things and disappeared. And so once the snake entered the house, every other thing that looks like a snake would scare the parents. So this is what is happening. Yeah.
All right there. Now, in no time, I would want us to switch from the Christmas discussion or whatever we're having about this Christmas and move straight into the stories that we've had this year. Some of the person stories about to Japan, we'll be having them one after the other. Near discuss it. But first of all, before say I best start the main headlines na Kasano, I would want us to look at this somewhere in July. If you guys will remember, Ejako went to a funeral performing looking at it, said the enemy Ejako with the tag of NPP and this NDC whole thing. You know, it started a fight. Is this where we've got into in politics, where if you see someone who belongs to the other party now won't belong to the other party, it becomes hate, and now say it becomes an enemy between you and that person. How do you also see that one too? Now, Kwesi Bako.
Okay, so I would like to one say this year, as journalists, as broadcasters, as communicators, whatever, we have to dig deeper beyond the basic definition of journalism. Now, you can, okay, journalism is a strong tool. It can also be used for advocacy. Let's make that clear before I say anything else. Now, with that said, your war period be more. We needed people to be very, very, very vocal, very revolutionary, okay, for the purpose of what we want to achieve. Imagine, say, Enka, with everything that's happening, then journalists would have just been like, oh, okay, I'm being careful, I'm being mindful, I'm being neutral or whatever. Now, in the name of neutrality, now, as a journalist, you will not do your work and sit down for people to just do what they want to do. What I'm saying is this: that we have the mic, right, as journalists, as broadcasters. Now, in a normal year, Kebefani say, oh, okay, let's just do our work and we just come and talk and whatnot and whatnot. But this year, he said, people have to raise their voice in an unusual way. So you find people who, let me give you an example. Captain Smart, right? Who said on a regular day he'll be doing his shows, whatnot. But this time you still say he went extra. He started mentioning people's names. He started telling behind the scenes story, things that on a regular day we can say, oh, wait there, and things that other journalists will be scared to touch because you would need to back up what you're saying, right? But long story short, this is a year where we cannot say we are going to judge journalism by the same basic standards that you're using every time. We had to apply journalism in a certain way to serve its purpose, which is to defend people, to keep the people's rights in its place. Now, if you have a government that comes and runs roughshod over everybody's rights, if you have a Supreme Court that says, a passport does not make you a Ghanaian, like this is just plain ridiculous. If you have you're kind of saying the Supreme Court does say they won't let the electoral commissioner, who is a paid, you're kind of saying worker of the Ghanaian people, no, not come and account to them. It's ridiculous. So now when you see power being, handled in this way, then journalism also has to play its role, right? By going the extra mile to tackle that power. And I feel like we've done a good job of it as Ghanaians this season.
Okay. Now to Jackson.
Yes, boss.
Still on this same issue with regards to certain things shared by politicians and how we also do our things behind the microphone as well. If you could remember, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is currently the vice president, said that we should one way or the other make mobile phones accessible to every citizen, every Ghanaian, even to the point that he stated that there will be little contribution as a UTIA 1 city for a mobile phone.
My brother, I don't know why the outgoing vice president has so much comedy to his political ambition. This is very funny, and it stripped him of his respect. He actually stripped himself of his. See, who is going to give out mobile phones at 1 cedi a month? Do you know how much they are going to lose? That I can take it and not be able to pay for 5 months because I know it is going to be 5 cedis. So let me just pay 5 cedis after 1 month. And the company wouldn't like it. And they wouldn't do anything about it. These kind of funny promises and frivolous, unproductive promises. I mean, we want somebody with a deeper thinking who would say, I'm going to make sure that we don't have traffic on the road anymore, so that if I go to work, I get to work on time and don't get fired by my boss. But not mobile phone 1 cedi. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. But that thing, it's such a very sensitive thing he said. He shouldn't have said it at all. He should not be saying that. But he said it already. But I hope if he happens to come back again on the ticket of the NPP, he shouldn't say something like that again.
All right then. Justice, welcome. Maybe I will be a source if I come there.
Thank you, sir. We have a
What is him stories and Andy Gusa ya Bobo so now pay your point in Christmas and 28th question.
Sorry for that. There, Brunya.
Yeah, question.
Christmas and the Yanibio.
Ada
ya postpone.
Scan you boom.
Ya tuasha da scan you boom. Ya tuasha da.
All right.
I can't pa ka usi kuma si ya say we see Brunya na nya sa da ne wo mo koro.
Omo dia losing Indiana.
Omo ani Brunya no.
Because Omo Lucy
Adumpa. We see Adumpa obi ayi na ne ye na business.
All right, but now I'm gonna come back to you because you back on. With this political game, I always be an a question. When it comes to the mouthpiece, people are the beer no. One more can't win some pie. You want one of it. Now let me make it wide open. A dear partner, so we say here in review, a politician, a kind to you no, and ye cry.
Interesting question. Thank you very much. Now, so it's hard to say because 4 years and beyond, the past maybe couple years, 4 years or so, maybe more, has been marriage, right? It's hard to say one particular thing a politician be a can because there's so many of them. Some of them, and I say, it's almost unbelievable, like how do these people regard? Oshe people rose against 11. I can't want some can you pay 11 you say that, right? Back in the day, Nessie John Mahama and a year in Ethiopia, but here we saw the actual year in Ethiopia to the point that they went to go make a cake and put e-levy on it, and then they went to go cut it. Like the level of disrespect for people who put you in power, right? And no honor. Then we see the Godfrey Dame and all the shenanigans that was going on with the Supreme Court and the other courts, right? Barefaced trying to manipulate the courts and all of those things. And some of the things that they will say in response to when you ask about it. It's hard to say one particular thing. There's so many different things. And even today, we're still hearing and seeing some of those things. Miracles Abwaje, Obiena Noah, Sebi Predict. And now I've heard some of the MPP people blaming him as one of the major reasons why Bawumia lost. I don't think anybody could have done it, anything different, to be honest with you. I don't think so. If you had brought can you say why not your channel or heaven? And as the uncle for 7 producer or 2 channel be a spokesperson have changed anything, right? Because people voted more on record than on all these things. But the impunity on top of all of that now was also very obvious.
Okay.
And let's see if we can look at some of the stories that we did in-house,
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello? Is the line okay? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Now to you, Jackson, with political game. Yeah, all right. Thank you right there. With the same question to you there. But in addition to that, let's add this bet taxes that was introduced within this year. Was it that necessary? Was it that necessary when it comes to we are going to scrap off all taxes and certain things, and we are going to make sure that people will face the law? That was the major thing that was said by Nanado Danko Kufuor's government even before they came into power. But when they came, did we see something like that?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. First of all, let me start with the question you asked, boss. You see, for a political party to be so arrogant and disrespectful to the extent of saying that they did better than the founder of the country, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, it is something that annoys me up to right now. You see, there is something I used to tell people, because every person who is a pioneer is driven by an ancestral force. So for you to disrespect that person, you have disrespected the ancestors. And this is one of the reasons why they fell with their nose first hitting the ground. Now, let me come to the taxes. See, when a former president and incoming president-elect of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, the handsome and the visionary builder of the nation, when he was in office, the taxes were not like they were. But that man did miraculously well. He did so well with the little taxes that they had put on the people. But when these people were campaigning back then, they said that these taxes were nuisance taxes and that we're going to take them off. How many taxes did they bring on? About 44 different taxes: emission tax, PAT tax, e-levy, betting tax. See, this is a wicked way of handling your people as a leader. Let me tell you something. It got to a time when Ghanaians who owned vehicles and were in transport business realized that petrol was too much. They couldn't afford it. They went to buy different engines that use diesel. And then the government of the time, Kufuor's government, realized that these people are shifting from petrol to diesel, and then they increased diesel. Now diesel costs higher than petrol. Now, when they made the youth of this country jobless, and the youth decided that, okay, if there is betting, instead of me going to steal and rob, let me go into betting. And then they realized that the youth is making money from betting. Now, they brought betting tax. How else can you enslave and entrap your people? This is an entrapment. So I don't like anything about this government. It is just a government of lies who have come to amass wealth, money, Cecilia Dapai and everybody else. And there is still money flowing in the system. So for me, I'm never happy with any of the taxes. Yes, President Mama would come and take the taxes off, and he would show them how to work without those taxes, and he will succeed, inshallah.
Now, Justice.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, Justice. Let me go back to Justice again. Justice,
Okay.
what do you mean?
Me just
Aye. Justice.
yo. Cause I say Jack. Okay.
Udini mi no Jackson Justice. Who can artist now? Ma hana yasem. What the politics at yache? Why you true to power? Ke kanwa adwen aka no kra de akire to me no kra no ye kan no mutie de. Ba me mi sha say no kra no ye kan no mutie. Na se so mutie de a eba ne sen. E na ilevia ye nyina nipa bebre na a lot of Ghanaians said it is not necessary hu hia ye de bai. Ye hu de kwakoye ye akosi broni yare o de bra ye se corona e hu taxes so bai. Afi kra de yanom fo se ye nkreti adwuma boys se won kreti de ye de be fane adwuma de ama ye ho ye betwa bet no ye wie nso a ye se boys na nya sika nti ye nkonfa tax mfanto so ne ente boys no so kakra sign mo we say no you as a Ghanaian, how do you see that? Is it something a government a bit me here to seek to the development and a lazy man's approach?
Nasa sa electronic levy no. E-levy no.
Mm-hmm.
Daylight robbery tax no. I know you can say a lazy man approach because say we say me send 100 cedis. Nasa obeti me e-levy. Any me nan send some send na what? Enti mema nipa no mo na ko merchant no ho no wayi ama me. What you say?
Yes.
Enti me say e-levy e free say omo implement e-levy no. Ebesi sabre me nya sure say ya me more than 10 cedis krada.
And I won't send it.
Me send pa that's yes send me nyansa. What you say? Enye say ofitu yara wo say no hwe na se sika no mu odua. So even sa me ko send no normal deduction na ya na MTN for yen.
Yes.
Ozo o kona sa obi a o me disca ko to sinage number so a o be ye betewo sa MTN for be deduct some amount of money be free sa sika no so. Enti me ba me se me load wallet na me de besma kapia sinage. If you me do dia ka ho se me load wallet. On say eno ye nti.
Yes.
What you say? Aha. Enti no sa kwan no a ye fa so a na ye de ye de load wallet a ye nti no sa kwan no so na ye fa so a ye de dodge e-levy no. So e-levy ba ye kan ya so akufu ado. On say sa prime minister yi Gabi Asaro Chiredako.
Yes.
Prime
Oh,
minister.
friends and prime
Akufu ado
minister.
ye na ya prime minister. Akufu ado ye na ajen say obeye say ya prime minister say David me enye. Enti ono no na all manage the affairs of the whole country. Gabi Asaro Chiredako. One kuntum kununku kenofriata. Former finance minister. Yes, yeah, reshuffle. Kufu ado say we last minute reshuffle. We you need no call Jubilee House. Now you hone say sa reshuffle no no. Na you promotion promoting the free finance ministry. I didn't call Jubilee House. So enti no sa you live in there. Sa target omo ye omo adwen say omo dey pay no. Besi na omo nsan kan. And I know me no ma me bi di nkomo ka kire me say ayi 11 no omo dey fund ayi free senior high school. Me say maame wonim nea wɔkeka ne deɛ free SHS
Wow.
no mo anya sika mfa anya free SHS mo de yi levy a nipa yi so wɔwɔ ɔborɔ no so tafo a wɔkasa ma MPP ɔka kyerɛ m sɛ yi levy ne deɛ yɛtwa ma ɛmmoa na ɛho sika nti na ɔmo de ɛfande ɔmo de fande saa policy no so wɔ ho yi levy na mɛboa yɛbɔ ɔmo so saa sɛ nka mo bɛyi afiri ɔmo a abɔlehye ɛna mo saa akɔfa a betting tax nso baeɛ.
Now, the
Bibi
betting
say
tax.
na ya na ya catch up no sa criticisms no eya na eye bibi true to power say o kan no credit a kire obi a na say wa ma ano anye hia eya no on fa serious
Okay.
so e was say
I know Anya in what sense?
oh ebi a nipa ni jimi o so man hu se papa u jimi ya jimi
Okay.
ho
Yes,
it
it's about time. It's about time. We need to speak the words out there in plain sight. Send a be a best shini panana was but not to polish words.
and was say nu kwa so massage words no na afia so
Okay.
wo de fe bi ya power chow ade nso so wo ba no wo say me baba be som mo nti se wo baba be som ye ndi a ene na de wo say ye eda yakoma so wo say wo ye man ye no eno na wo say wo ye na mumu metena akonwa no so na wo mekire ye de wo pe what you say
Yes.
nti no say ye criticize wa e wo say ano ye hye
Okay.
ano ye hye na wo wa say akoya kamasam na say ye kana tra sa de no mo mfa serious kra.
Yes, is serious. Now, Abdul, unmute your microphone. Now, betting tatia ebaye. Don't you see it's a who is a idea government, you know, a person what the chum boys, you know, a free gambling home. Rather than say you who is a government, you know, Eddie Chiske for before no.
nea woka no ebetumi ayɛ saa but to me no me hu ne saa mom deɛ me hu ne sɛ ne nyinaa yɛ kwan a aban no fa so de agye sika bi afei youth no hɔ ɛyɛ boys ne titiriw because aban no hwɛ hu sɛ we are into saa betting no paa kɛse boys no nti sɛ ti saa deɛ a ahu sɛ justice kan yi bi sɛ maame bi ka sɛ 11 a mo ayɛ fi hɔ no ɛno ana na nka aban de yɛ free SHS no nti ɛfa baabi no me support maame no because me dimo sɛ free education ana na do de bae no edu baabi no na sɛ ayɛ den wɔ papa ne nsɛm nti na ɛho behia sɛ ɔsan pepe sika bi fi mea like saa taxes na ɔde bae no 11 no nti na agya onya kakra wɔ ha na agya ɔde atua tokuro bi wɔ ha kɔgye we wɔ ha no de atua tokuro bi nti aban yɛ ne sɛ agya boys na ankasa so yɛ so yɛntua sika no bi na ɔno nso ɔmfa ɛno bi support project ahodo a ɔyɛ enkanka free education nti ɛfa baabi no justice me ne maame no kɔ adwen mu kakra because free education is not easy because wotie research anaasɛ wohwɛ research sika a ehwie gu wɔ nkwalaa no ho wɔ school mu a feeding no nko ana na ɛnyɛ easy nti me hu ni sɛ aban no ɛde tua yɛ chacha bɔ.
Abdul, hold on a second, Abdul. Let's call a spade. Let's Mama Mayeng. No, seriously. Let's not kick glove things, okay? Abdul, there was bank, central bank, it me bought a car $6 billion. The central bank ready, it me bought $6 billion. How on earth are you going to tell me, say, boys, and then conquer 11, conquer fund it, you can't say free education? Where does that idea come from? Besides, Tama NPP campaigning on free education, there was that thing called 11. It's not time when you say fund 11, fund free education. Let's not do this. This is what I'm talking about. Journalism, no. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm neutral. Sometimes like, okay, I'm trying to be diplomatic. But we have to call a spade a spade. Otherwise, they will see us as stupid or misleading. Let's be clear about that. So, will be egg, much will be, and that's what it will be, and I will inform you. That's any panini more than you are. You can just imagine. There's so many instances and money gets private jet. It's tarmac, so I need Jaska for the private jet. We have a presidential jet. Why are you going to leave that as a voice and the free education? Let's call a spade a spade. Let's not do this to ourselves. Once yes, and people see us as stupid. Oh yeah, it's a politician. It is a walk as oh. I then what could this can in no? What's that judge? So what then young free education. They'll think you're stupid, and then they'll think say, okay, it's yeah, bet me across why yeah. Minko this kind of $6 billion. Minko blow. Because Bakwa Kokachio must say bank yes and concrete. Or 2 4 Egg a by so Baba Ditis Kakoye comfort not here. I didn't also tune for the Kokoye, sir. I didn't also tune for and also Coco red of comfort not it. When we don't pay taxes to him, when we pay taxes to a government, the Iranian Sabah can say, oh, and actually, no, Abdul, please. I'm sorry to take you on friendly fire, but let's approach our journalism with the higher standard. With the higher standard, I guess no, they feel like
please see some water for me now. Cool down for me right there. It's true. Yeah, and never we didn't know to massage issues, just like Justice said. It needs to be said just the way now is it here. But sometimes we tend to quote the words of the people. That is how they see it. If you quote them in another way around, no, you educate them on what they said that you think it is not the right direction. Now, as it stands now, Ghana is owing about 1.2 trillion, over 1.2 trillion. And we tend to ask ourselves that the amount that we are owing, is it worth the development we are in now? Is it worth the infrastructure that we have in the country now? Looking at the National Cathedral in topic, of which we will come back to it personally. You're better talking about the National Cathedral. But let me put this question across. Ghana, we are owing over 1.2 trillion. Is it worth the state of the country right now? Is it worth it? Kwesi Bako, back to you again, answer.
Definitely, we can able to answer that question for ourselves,
okay.
Right? And I feel sorry to come to you, but if saying I'm a person, I'm not saying they are all cannot, bad or anything. It's your opinion, okay? So I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just challenging your opinion, and you are free to challenge my opinion also.
Oh
and it's good saying I want the same platforms, I want different opinions. To me, fantastic. So we can struggle like this, right? But this is what I'm saying, though. The two Amona worth 20, you can say $58 million.
$58
right?
million.
You rent a hotel, my judge. Someone got in
and up to date still now.
I know, be crank. Young far, so many different things. Fan can we? Saska, why the baby be say ya? Then why do we have to pay e-levy before we can have free education? Which they promised when there was no e-levy. Me part of what did I be trying to say? Also, what did I say? Papa, you will fee, right? Yeah, Papa, yeah, Papa will fee. Papa say, oh, okay, I didn't cry no. I was telling me money now to school, but skaka krane wo no. Or the aquacotina peteshiba, I will be a tribi calomo with really heavy pan. No, Samba said, I also made him a money co school, and Contafonia, Sophonia, the moment make a crown and family money. Does it make sense? I don't think so. Jamaican United say, e-levy, it was robbery, daylight robbery. What I say? Now say, young fan robbery, Sandu Cranton Chenya. Say, you can't free education. It has nothing to do with e-levy. On one side, the government itself came and declared, say, e-levy no cry no. They didn't get the money that they thought they were going to get from it. Right? They told us, say, the e-levy no, or more and nobody young call IMF. Where are we right now? We are at IMF. And worse than IMF, you my haircuts. You penny for a Western or more retire or more invest your music in bond. Everywhere in the world, the safest place to invest your money are government bonds, right? Into my top bonds as an old person. So, because I'm not working anymore. Now, government first ask, I don't know, catch yourself, brother, but in 15 years' time. Now, who as a citizen, oh, and just then somebody to e-levy to fund education. I think that we need to re-examine.
All right. I think that we need to examine things. Now, justice. In terms of Ghana, economic crisis, woman, right from the beginning of the introduction of free SHS, was it worth it? Pay your times and a woman, no free SHS, very necessary. They are there.
Oh, sir, free senior high school, no, say constitutional. Oh,
Yeah.
idea here. Na mmom no ɔmo implement wie yɛ no na nneɛma bi wɔ hɔ nom a na ntwa yie ɔn sɛ ɛkɔbaa sɛ double track system nyinaa baa it was spearheaded by then deputy education minister
Yes.
ɔsɛ yɛ wɔde twum
I'll say I would.
ɛma ɔmo kɔfa double track system nyinaa baa ɔmo implement ne yie na ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo show off na ɔmo yɛ biribi ma yɛhu sɛ oh free senior high school na ɔmo yɛ sɛ ɔmo de ba no ampa ɔmo atumi ayɛ wate aseɛ ɔmo anwene ho yie coalition of concerned teachers wɔ ayi bi ɔmo say inability to think na sɛ ɔmo antumi anwene so ho ɛno na wokɔka yɛsɛ yɛ ma wo nka wodi ɔmo atɛm no ade no nso sɛ wɔsɛ yɛka no korɛ de kyerɛ wo woanwene so ho nti no synergy adeɛ yɛ a ɔmo anwene ɛno nti no wopɛ sɛ nka bɛka ne sɛn so
The best can say hold on, mama. From Abdul Jackson, with the policies, a government, a paper will make promises. No, baby, all those promises, you know. If you want to say out of one, out of 10, 1 out of which is going to be me. And we live in a country, we keep on massaging people and these people, these politicians. Keep quiet about that things and I wasn't cover here. And we make it look at I can't work when me and I am saying that in relation one D, 1F. See in I
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Agenda 111. All these policies which the government made mention of that of a year none of them the own is taking the top of GH and implementation of yes. And we are quiet about it, I didn't
synergy the thing is I say Ghana politics and Casano are quiet ube candy ebe convince nipa just like that. And the nipa no obey well convinced now a trauma they are. Then why not say on Casasem? Yes. And the agenda bit is one DF, one district, one factory now good policy na moment me who say made from the office let me who say omo be be ba mo ntimi nye and ma jot me nka
Abdul.
and like say that make a free station that me go we on point who say I buy no can free SHS buy na or implement this and all this and no buy policy no I buy be who say free SHS no ta na enya easy the na mahama can say Ghana ya hobo na say state no say na Ghana ya city no ya the free SHS dey betimi aye this time no aban be who say no bom ye no kre enti say so wanya the side na ba wie enti what are we doing and free education also consuming a lot of aban or minus enti na was say enti 11 or enti na make say enu nyina ka ho enti 11 ba enti say ma me no ka it would aban no essence na ye baby was say free education and aban no compare dey buy enti no na was say ultimately some taxes be ebe na no ultimately yeah enti me do the amanyofo ya omopa nundwa say na woka no yes omopa nundwa enti no obeka de enim nyina obeka say na be ya yebeto am omo just like that me that's how I see them yes because omoka bebre ya hanom bi no ya hanom ja ma ha na ye wo no ye one piece ni bia waba kwa no no ba ye no obeka say obema e prekoma obi a wo ye into moanyen obenya imprekwa obema obi obenya na ntwi a obefo so ama obi obenya enwan a obema obi we mama voco bobo no to yes serious now imagine what you say adibia or the data baba ni benya ye no ko baba ko pe kwa ama jama south ha je na ba ko pe kwa ama e o jan ba ko pe kwa ama sinkremofo no be ma ye na enwan je say sempi so Ghanaian politics no Yeah, yes, that's how I see it. Yes.
That is how you see it. Now, Jackson, what do you mean?
Abdul.
I mean, you can't.
With the policies, I'm on your former
Pastor,
car.
1 second.
With the policies.
So after the on the hour no.
Yeah, because you back on. It seems you're talking.
Okay, all right. So I was saying, sir, on the hour no, I'll be coming in to help co-host. Okay, maybe I'll co-host
Okay,
so
yeah.
we can take a look at some of the stories that we have done in-house. All
Okay.
right, so we can
All right.
look at some of those things.
All right.
Is that question?
Yeah, I asked Jackson a question. Jackson.
Yeah, your question again, please.
Okay, the question is, how do you see policies around let me put it in a bragging way, were shared by politicians, but they are not able to fulfill them. We as citizens, what do you think we have to do in order to put them on their toes to do the right thing? The moment they see it, it needs to be done. How do we approach issues like this?
So, if I get you well, you're trying to ask me if they impose certain things on us, how should we, the citizens, react?
It's about their policies that they tell us before
Their
they get the
policies.
power.
See,
Their policies, yeah.
in a democratic dispensation such as we are in, every person is allowed to hit the road and demonstrate.
Okay.
Every person has the right to say, I am not accepting this. If I accept it, this is how I'm going to feel. I'm going to not be able to do this and do that for myself and family. So I am not accepting this, like it is done in certain countries in Africa. I don't know the problem with, I think it's in Gambia, where the people are revolting against many of these so-called tax impositions. And if we as a people can be angry enough to say no to some of these policies, I think it's going to save us, because the politician at the top there is only looking at his 10%, 20% cut. After all, we have allowed them to bring these things and put them on our heads, and our necks can't take them anymore. Has it changed your life? Has it improved mine? It has rather brought more hardships that I wasn't even expecting. This was to alleviate the problems they perceived to be worrying the individual Ghanaians. And so they brought these policies to rather put it on the neck, I mean, like a harness around the neck of the ordinary Ghanaian who is suffering double than when they did not even bring these policies up. I don't believe in certain policies, and we as Ghanaians must be allowed, or we must allow ourselves to hit the streets when you don't want certain policies.
Okay. Now, let me go back to you, Kwesibako, if you have anything to say in relation to that and any stories that you want us to discuss about. Let me hand it over to you over there.
Thank you very much, Synergy. And don't hand over to me completely. We're doing this together still.
All right, no problem.
So, thank you very much but I would like to kick back a little again to something that Abdul said a short while ago. Okay. Politician, waba baby, what's the bon toma me a mema opreko, mema upon to be. These are practical things that this politician could have done. What would have made anything? People promise wilder things, but to say so the families, Preko, those things, anything, cry. Individuals can do that. Now, what MP are common man? What I say, MP are with me raising a dear campaign, a winning election. Car with the better idea. After my minister, household they work on the ABA system.
Okay, those who any part of those. A culture baby.
Abdul.
What's the household? And also, because
still, right? Which me here because well, what you say with me there are not men but so with me so there's something like that very achievable. That's why I think that the MPP has made an opportunity. And I could advocate power with so much good will. And as a thing, it was not difficult at all. I'm telling you, let's examine this properly. What says $58 million digging a pit, right? Now, what point we will say one district $1, and now I'm can be that a year. And yes,
Yeah.
districts near saying, and then multiply that by $1 million. Now, because the Kasawa and the year national theater, can you continue and find this idea? Could have. They could easily have. Forget about free education, forget about all these other things. These are practical things that can be seen because it's $1 million. It will reflect in development. What I say? The district every year be $1 million. And can see from mobile APSC because district be $8 million. Imagine what every district could have done with $8 million versus using that money to go and sink a pit in the middle of Accra. Versus going to break down a body hospital and say that we'll be sick when you don't even know where the money is coming from. MPP has made a golden opportunity. Politics are modified, and yet they could have achieved some of rightfully one fact. And yet I'm telling you, anything. You know why? Because you can source energy, you can source talent, you can source everything from within the communities. Maybe he knows how to say, let me set up a small factory and help them produce a pabuano from all. Anything. Maybe I know how to say, let's set up some small agro processing unit worth $1 million to process into anything. What I say? They have missed a golden opportunity. But with that said, let's segue back to our stories for the year. Let me start with you, Justice. You have done most of the story for us, as a lead correspondent. What is the story that stand out amount in the course of this year?
And some of the and some of the I don't think down Bibre. See a Kaya Kennedy, I come from Kennedy, Japan. Ascent Central MP. Wabrana or Moye by MP. Eman in Casa Ibukra or Case or more of $800 million from Baumia's camp, say, on step it down. It is with Mr. Pet down there on $800 million. I hope so. Okay, guys, I said no. I check elections in the corner. We are Dr. Laj Mahmoud Baumia winning any who say, Akojina KTR market. Akojina KTR market, here campaign Mabaumia say, Monto, Dr. Laj Mahmoud Baumia. No, obey to me. A winning a banner diamay. Let's say, Aqua say, Papa no on canocre or contradict it. Over catch and say, Dr. Laj Mahmoud Baumia campaign team air or foul over $800 million says the pedal. And check what's a cow horse. Laj Mahmoud Baumia noa ena ebeboa Ghana. Na the entire me way and starting my stories near and I know Tuesday ye twemu ya na me free Kumasi bana. Mami fu bi di nkomo se Kennedy Japan so ka ho bi na omo ankwa ankoto abado. O se papa den kan kre. Na no no de no nko wogidi se Kennedy akompre kwa Japan wi ni sa omo internal elections na MPP fagbaraship na nka obetumi aboa ma o defeat Mahama. Nanso ansam a okan ye akire oba ye se Dr. Laj Mahmoud Baumia ye nkotoma no owo KTR market hobi nti no hu se papa no nka no kre na o se 7 December no na nko okwa akoto aba no okwa akoto aba no kai sa asebra do se kire ogodu fufu ni ma me ne te so ame me ni di nkomo kwa akiri o se Kennedy akompre ko Japan ti na wono de wankwa ankoto aba no papa na nka no kure wokasa kumasefo maamefo no a omo anto omo aba no a 7 December ubeduru kumasefie bia na tip no omo wo bufuo enche na National Democratic Congress Ashanti region omo ye nsentwerefo hia mu na omo de demonstrations ahodo nsusu ewura mu se omo call for forensic audit electoral commission voter register no onye forensic audit ena omo ye oye kire e wa Ashanti region ema asiedu nkatia mu nyina ba bi ma Joseph Yamin a oye national organizer de ma NDC omo nyina be pie mu Asante Mantam mu ha ma GH News Now mene Richard a oye production manager ye nyina so so ye twe yen camera ekokova ade no ma ne ye fefefe kama na yɛne nsɛntwerɛfoɔ bi nso so edi nkɔmmɔ ma nsɛm a ɛkɔ so wɔ hɔ no nneɛma a wɔn ho wɔ hɔ no nso so wɔn de to GH News na yɛn nso yɛnim before sɛ yɛne temamufoɔ no bi ne supporters no bi bɛdi nkɔmmɔ no yɛne yɛn nuanom nsɛntwerɛfoɔ bi di nkɔmmɔ na wɔn deɛ na wɔn nim sɛ ɛyɛ dɛn a ɛnyɛ adeɛ a yisi forensic audit na bɛba so wɔn ne any media personality bi edi nkɔmmɔ a wɔsɛ Jimensa nya de obeye forensic audit na before so mo beye demonstration mo de krata akoma electoral commissioner owo Asante region so mo pese mo ye oye kire nanso oye kire ni duru so mo de mo krata no ko duru ho no mo de mo petition mo ko submit mo petition no mo duru ho no ye duru first entrance na soldiers ejina entrance ho na gate ni 2 police jina ha soldiers nsusu ejina ha a mama ye nwura mu yakofa the other entrance ene no yetimi ye ya yewura mu ma etuo kasa ye eno police for be ka se nye no kore etuo bia nkasa wo saa dwubedi na se a ye GH News na ye te se meme gina honom ever de odwane ye nyame no kure ni ever dwane ye Richard a me te se etuo akasa police for the letter babo nto mo issue statement se omo antutu na dano me bisa omo se na de mete no power no na dia knockout araze na dia because mate masum se tu akasa mo so mo de krata aba bonten se enya dia etu kasa ye na wa batuo no mu no wa bra na nto abo no ekoso no nse Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia yi 16 days si honom se obo ntoa Ashanti Regional Tour a na flyers a etwagu ye nyina na Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia ho nyini da so a o se oye 16-day tour na after say owie ye no John Dramani Mahama no no so tu franka ade ama NDC ono so ba Ashanti region no so ye the tour a nche ne hu se comeback bi asa ba Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia asa ba Kumase mo bi 16 days wawie yes hu se wasane Ashanti regional minister ne chama untumi mu sa na Kumase na yesi okọ adumchi ho enti ye de na twetwe yan so se obi a wawie 16 days na nipa a wona na si akan John Dramani Mahama wono so about the same region na ukọ nkran ya wasa aba se o ba ye to na etwetwe yan so kakra wenum e ka ho bi na edi etwaguo afe 2024 na ye nyuran mo animsem a GH News Now yen so ye ko bi press conference nche bi ye Ghana Water Company Limited se private investor bi aba be omo be bubu omo dan bungalows e wo honom guest house awodo e wo honom a asase no omo kasa kirem se e ya aban dia saa japade no ya aban ankasa dia ena private investor Kumasi a Crystal Hotel maame no aba be bubu dan no se wato saa asase no wose eye ne dia inti no imprimpri a no mo kasa no saa asase na ba be di ne honti Ghana Water Company Limited staff we ho nyina nsori mfiri saa bangalo ho no nyina ena ono no gina ne tumi so ekobubu dan no na ye na etwetwe aso se whether say eye politically motivated saa deɛ no ɔmo no anaasɛ biribi na ɛhyɛ aseɛ na ɔmo yɛ sɛ Ghana Water Company Limited yɛ sɛ ɔmo nsɛntwerɛfoɔ nhyia mu n'ase no ɔmo bɛte nsu kɔkɔɔ na ɔmo de ɔmo nkodeɛ nyinaa gu fam ɛma Ashanti region deɛ sɛ woyɛ obi a wodware woyusu Ghana Water Company Limited for nsu a 3 days na ɔmo ahyɛ down operations na nsuo wobie wo tab a wonhu nsuo ɛna ɛgye sɛ wokɔpɛ ɔtadeɛ bi na wakɔsɛ nsuo afiri mu yɛwɔ nipa nom bi wɔ hɔ nom a nom dware sɛ bepia water sachet water yi bi ɔtɔ bag baako a ɛhyɛm 30 na wate apepe ne nyinaa de agu bucket mu na ɔde akɔ akɔdware ankyɛ biara na ɔmo saa yɛ press conference bɛka kyerɛ yɛn sɛ ɛyɛ saa strike na ɔmo kɔ no ɔmo akɔle no off ɔmo ne mpanimfoɔ akasa ama sesei biribiara to din nyaade a saa shutdown no ɔmo bɛkɔ so ama nakɔ so nti no ankyɛ saa da no ɔmo yɛ press conference no wie ya na ehu sɛ ɔmo start operations ana yɛ nsuo no na egu so ana ɛretwa guo na ne nti a manya
It's Justice. Let's just say, hold on a second. Hold on, Justice. Hold on. Let's just say, Omo enya domo sek omo saka dia no mo hwehwe no ana Ghana Water for no. Omo enya adekwa omo bisa nti no mo gyae omo strike na.
Ghana Water for no omo ansisu pi se omo nsaka de no omo hwehwe no omo ka kire yen se omo ma omo 3 days omo 3 days se omo anstate anye saa walls no a omo demolish ye no ene bungalows no omo anstate foundation omo ahu se omo ya omo be sa shut ne down into 3 days no so atwam dadaada
Which means omo
3 days na atwam a nsuo no
omo dan na yebu. Dan na yebu omo demand say yensi dan ni omo back ana.
Yensi dan na omo back into no
Okay.
3 days no so atwam saa ultimatum no atwam into atwam a still na yensuo no e flow ne de na ese omo aya ma omo guso a omo sisi bungalows ne ma omo ntino metimi aka se omo aya ma omo because they say me ka se minsu ba ha pipe na eba
okay
na they say no ensemo a etwaguo a say edi ahim eye the new force cheddar yes in the polling agent when twa omo ka titru kwa abrefo a
interesting
news now yebema mo exclusive interview from the camp of the new force no ye no omo polling agent ni bi akasa obo se omo ne cheda kodi nkomo no omo anka nchiro mo se mayiska sei ne mo elections no ko na wie no wo hye omo bo se obo mo obia 600 cedis besi ne omo nsan kan ye declare results na ma John Dramani Mahama wini polling agent sa ya omo communications officer ba ko na ye ne no ekasa wo true to power so Emmanuel Asante ena yi mi sa so tire ne se on de na bamabu na se sa na papa we ye de a enya de obekasa ma sa the new force ne biem enti no ye ne Emmanuel Asante ebe have exclusive interview no wabo ye mu enti polling agent
you're looking forward to that because Mekai said he was one person not Okasama Chedapa. He was very, very, very convicted about the message that Cheddar was putting out and stuff. You're trying to bring more details on what actually happened.
I bisi na wasi wontu omoka na o se wabra na abato no ekoso no na wo se you provide womo with some incentives bi besi na omo nsan kan ensu a na omo benom nyina ma enuane na wo se omo nsa kan no won isa election day no 7 December na angasa no ama wabra na omo kan ma no nyina enuane nsuo ni nyina ama ono kura yi ne botom sika e de sponsor besi na ne nsan kan nti we nyina wo ho no mu a GH news na ye de ani be de akire na ye hono de ekọ na KJT market phase 2 no KJT market phase 2 Omaja adwuma o. Omaja abase so mo video nyina akọ. Say yenhu so mo toa so. So mo ye den. Ubedru ayi keyetia bia obo se saa omo trailers ne saa omo cars no ni nyina na enenam ho bet say omo de ayi bi line bi asisi ho no ne barricades bi asisi ano obi a nko ho nanso unhu so obi ye adwuma enka first no nka obo hu se obi tesoro na nka obom ni nyina say wonte ubedru kejetia market phase 2 say betimi de mensese mbo aka se omo gya adwuma adwumayefo na gyae ɛna the almighty swami interchange
Interesting.
the almighty swami interchange
Mm-hmm.
ɛno nso so ɔmo firi hɔ swami interchange no adwumayɛfoɔ no firi hɔ a meka sɛ woduru hɔ nom a sese ɛgya wɔn mfuturo ɛma me ne adumfoɔ no adwadifoɔ no ɔmotontɔn nneɛma wɔ kwan no ho no bi di nkɔmmɔ wɔbrɛ a yɛto aba no wie foforɔ no ɔmo se ɛno ka ho bi na ɔmo anto ɔmo de mfuturo na eku ɔmo se last minute woka kyerɛ yɛn sɛ woba bɛyɛ interchange ama yɛn 2022 ɛna ɔyɛ sɛ at the end of 2022 deɛ na yɛn nsa aka interchange no na yɛwie na yɛ commission sɛ ɔbɛka yɛ a swami interchange kwan yɛakate sword twice
Mm-hmm.
Akufo-Addo akate sword wɔ swami interchange twice ni enti na nkɔmɔ hwɛ anim sɛ nka 2022 no na nka ɔmo betumi akɔmission swami interchange nanso besi na sɛ yɛwɔ 2024 aka less than a week na yɛwura 2025 so na no ntimi nkɔɔ so nti yɛhwɛ anim sɛ aban foforɔ a waba yi John Dramani Mahama obetumi ayɛ swami interchange ama ɔmo because sɛ yɛde cameras kɔ hɔnom na Ghanafoɔ ahwɛ mfuturo a ɛbɔ ɛfa nkurɔfoɔ a awerɛho paa sɛ ɔmo abɛtutu amena wɔ hɔnom ɔmo de drilling machines ne bi abɛsisi hɔnom ɔtutu amena wɔ hɔnom ama anwea ɛwɔ asase n'ase na abɛgu ani nti cars no etwi fa so saa nti ama mfuturo na sese nsuo ntɔ hamatan no nti no nsuo ntɔ nti ɛgya wɔn mfuturo nti wei ne nsɛm bi a etwa gu ɛwɔ Uba Ashanti region hanom a wei ne nsɛm ahodoɔ a etwa gu na John Dramani Mahama wini yɛ no na yɛne Ghanafoɔ bi ɛmaburo ne bi di nkɔmmɔ na ɔmo yɛ ne ɔmo di nkɔmmɔ me ne ɔmo di nkɔmmɔ paa ne yɛ ɔmo a mɛka sɛ floating voters ɔmo aba no nkɔmma MPP ɛna nkɔmma NDC uduru PZ hɔnom a PZ metumi aka sɛ ɔmo tontɔn phones wɔ PZ hɔ no about 70% ɛyɛ floating voters MPP foɔ no ɛyɛ kakraa bi na NDC foɔ no nso so yɛ kakraa bi but PZ dwadifoɔ no ankasa deɛ ɔn sɛ ɔmo yɛ hustlers ɔmo depend on any political party biara nti ɔmo no hu ne sɛ ɔmo hustle for themselves nti ɔmo mfɔma no nto aban biara so nti floating voters no na dɔɔso na wobɛduru hɔ no sese ɔmo nyinaa hyɛ NDC foɔ t-shirt.
Really?
I'm telling you. Ubedru PZ no, bohu se nipa bɛyɛ 5. No ma hyɛ MPP NDC t-shirt. Wuntumi nhu. Ɛna ɔmo kwagye ne nyinaa nso so wɔ asoanse. Asoanse nso so yɛ borɔno bi a woduru party office hɔ nom sɛ wopɛ NDC t-shirt a wopɛ baako a yɛ maa mmienu. Wopɛ baako a yɛ maa mmienu. T-shirt no ɔmo benya a nka wotwam kura ayɛ segye. Asoanse woduru hɔ nom a chief imam kura wɔda sɔre ya wɔn deɛ atale a wɔhyɛ ne da biara yɛ NDC t-shirt. Aha. Enti saa t-shirt ni bi na woduru PZ hɔ nom a ɛhyehyɛ wɔn mo. Na PZ hɔ naa no ɛnkyɛn biara sɛ wote saa toy guns na wɔn toto wɔ PZ hɔ.
Yeah.
Toy guns no. Aha. Ɛma police for issue statement says they are causing fear and panic. Enti omunya saade no. Ema omukochi PZ for boys no 4. And omuchi guy ba konso so e konfanoche hospital hono. Teaching hospital na animu hono omuchi 2 kan ho nti ekoye 6. Enti sa boys no mikonya bionu no omukasa omo se omo anto aba ni bi. Omo anto the police went me ache say we use water pistol bullet in nim nsuo keke ne gina mu na se wo to a na so be che no a wase enya de obeto aba no nti omo anto aba no nti no we ni nsem bi a me boaboa no a de twa gu
Now, 7 previous, we of course. It's some way you say you say you see what happened, so it's ridiculous. But then what has that got to do with elections? Like, Ghana, I don't know. It looks like sometimes we still don't understand why we vote. The intent say we are voting for our own good, right? If we voting, oh, you'll be papa. And you're chilling because of what happened to me. That means anyways. All right. Thank you very much, Justice. One of the stories in Saudi in the course of the week, in the course of the year. Because of
yeah, Asante Mampoha. Yes, municipal chief executive. Assessor fertilizers are now wasanka or distributing ma constituency no. Mabuna womu ne akuafo e wo ho no mo omo wa ni so ade hunu so omo be farming. Na wo se nka o distribute ma omo be jeje nkrofo Ghana cars. Omo register so omo be mo fertilizers. But honorable and the appeal could be abo mi fit nduku ache say fertilizers no yes wa pack egu isa tatafo pick up Kia no Reno tentin ni bi wa pack fertilizers na gumu a o turn them a agrochemicals man bi a your friend chiwa agrochemicals na saa de no so no GH ni so na yeni hu adanse enti no alleged said the broni be kanu no it is alleged enti no ye bebo wuro na ya hwese ne ensem ni city ankasa nti saa story we so ne me last story amaye no true to power so enti this year na de stories na me ye no do so ye pa na ye hwe akufuado yi levy a na ye ka ho asem saa daylight robbery tax no ye hwe ye be hwe emission tax kenoforiata saa consolidated fund or in Zako Boom, they could see National Cathedral, the most expensive hole in Africa. Or the Boom, as say, and him say, Adane Epono Eketua, say Poba, because videos be by na ye who say na boys ni be very woman. National Cathedral, so ye di home Kobakakra. Nana Danko Kufuado, the personal pledge, ebe than national pledge. Na enye Ghana ha no more. You see there na personal pledge. It made an national pledge. Consolidated fund without parliamentary approval. Now the ones could boost come now they are basing National Cathedral mayen. Ebetoja say what Bruni so assemble. Emma Mampany at the plane ayo mine dear. ABC Kumase you say international airport. Or the plane BC Honum and can golden tulip and your friend Lancaster. Na say wa broni ye twen say wa broni be fra kraba na plane si honom for 7 good hours. Ye twen say wa broni. Ni nyina cause financial loss. Papa ye mfie.
and so we have to go and find money from poor people to go and fund free education. How ridiculous is that?
Aye.
Justice.
Free education.
Thank you, Mipacho. Jackson real quick. Sorry, round up for me, Nyanko Jackson.
Na sir, National Cathedral no crown so one say omote fund bi aye say omo contribute 100 cedis for 100 cedis betumo omo de mo line bi baaye besi nɛ yɛnhunu saa sika no yɛnhu baabi afa ɔmo so ɔmo de si national cathedral no saa sika no yɛnhu yɛ saa board no a ayi daa no a saa board of trustees ayi saa Jamfi Victor Kusi aka Mr. Jamfi ɔno a ɔsɛ ɔbɛbu ho akɔntakyerɛ yɛ yɛnhu saa sika no ɔsɛ ɔbɛbu ho akɔntakyerɛ yɛ mprempren yɛsɛ yɛnhu baabi a wafa ɔni Ghana papa no yɛhwehwɛ no enti no wei ne nsɛm bi a ɛtwa gu 2024 a true to power yɛn nso so yɛyɛ bi a yɛka no kora de kyerɛ tumi.
Nice. My Uncle Jackson, real quick, you best so in a short while because Osan here stories be and yet necessarily political, right? But yeah, but share so. But Jackson, in the course of the year, what has stood out for you the most? What are some of the stories that have stood out for you the most, especially those that we have dealt with on this platform?
Okay, so I would do with the COVID testing at the airport, where the monies that were taken from travelers coming into the country, the money didn't go to the central bank, but it went to the private bank of the former Minister of Finance. And I would want the ORAL that Mahama formed. So Asaba Ghana futun ama yɛde ayɛ mpotodwuma wɔ Ghana ha. Afei so wohwɛ a saa e-gate na ba yɛde abɛsi airport no me ɛyɛ a medwene ho na me ho dwire me because yɛtumi asi airport no bibia $250 million or so na wakɔtam gate bi abɛsi hɔ a $120 million anaasɛ 200 million ɛno ɛhwɛ he wahu ɛyɛ wa ɛwɔ Ghana fo mu a enti omu tu eti a aban ni sɛ yahu sɛ ade na asɔ kɔkɔɔ mu si ɛnyɛ kɔkɔɔ ade ni ɛhye yɛ mu si dia bi adwo te sɛ freezer mu wei nneɛma wei a ɛkɔ so it has caused a lot of pain in the hearts of Ghanaians. That money that was taken from people from the airport for COVID testing, we want this money back in the national coffers. We want to see where that money went to. That money must be retrieved for national development purposes. And I'm also looking at the JDM's freedom of speech, Awadiaba. If you look at what he told the headmasters, the head of schools, he says, this is the time for you to voice out your grievances, the challenges that you have. I'm not going to tie your mouth so that you don't speak. There is no fear. Speak out. Tell us what your problems are and let us come together as a people to fix it. If you look at the Ghana Education Service, the government owes Ghana Education Service, is it $3 million or so? This is a country that is saying this is a government that has said that they've done better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How do you owe the people and still tell us you did better than Kwame Nkrumah? I mean, a child will not drop out of the mommy's womb right now. You tell him that story and they will believe. I just don't like it when you are telling me it is not green but red, when I know it is green. So I'm also looking at the issue of the National Cathedral. That place was earmarked for as a residence for judges. You broke the place down. You built a river Piololo for the people, breeding a lot of mosquitoes in the country. Last time, like Justice said, I saw videos of it. People were swimming in it. And you cannot talk. If you talk about it, you are in trouble. The freedom of speech has been cuffed or zipped by this administration, and it makes it difficult for people to voice out their spleen when they had to. So people were made to live with the pain 24/7 for the fear of being arrested for the wrong reasons. I remember when Akufo-Addo came into government in January, people were being attacked. People in prominent positions, AGPs, the Commissioner of Police, and all of those people were attacked. And a certain man's CCTV caught images of the attack that took place in Jubilee House. What happened to that innocent man? Just because he released the images, he was arrested and penalized.
Look at the people who caused the problem. They are free and they are walking the streets. All of these people must be brought to book. My pain also has to do with power, the energy sector. When this government came to power, mistakenly for them, Baumia was the first to say that yes, Mama solved doom so, but he must not be praised for it. And then the Minister of Energy also said that yes, they came to meet power in excess and it is even waste. So my question is, why are we experiencing doom so now? Where is the excess power? Now, the people will supply power to La Cote d'Ivoire and Togo. We are now taking power for them. If this is not an insult and pure mismanagement of the economy and pure broad daylight thievery, then what else can it be? These are the little things that are mounting up in the hearts of Ghanaians, and they are not happy with it. Now, the issue, I'm making my points very, very short because of time and the fluctuation in the internet connectivity. Now, when it comes to free SHS, my brother, it annoys me to the core. My son went to free SHS. When he got to school, I was ready to send him to a school. He said, "Da, and for me, private school, make free SHS. When my son got to school, then he said, "You see, pam atadie, 2 shorts, 2 tops, yento book say." I said, but the government promised to do this and that. He said, yes. They said they are now starting to. So I had to buy books, sew a uniform up and down, buy shoes and all of that. Now my son will go to school for 6 weeks and come home for 3 months. I don't have money to send him to school. It has rather impoverished the poor women whose hopes were falsely raised. It has impoverished them the more because scan one here would for extra classes. And they are taking 70 cedis per subject. And Ghana nipa bakuye 14 subjects. I don't know if it has been reduced. Now mamina otonje bidienu or 7 children or 4 children, 70 cedis no per subject. Now the arrogance na ekosu Katie Hammond or Kasa anyhow. Afenyo Markins or Kasa anyhow, no respect for the people. They felt like they were gods. That kind of control and autocratic power that were used on Ghanaians is the reason why we popped them just like that. And looking at the energy sector again, they are going back to stage 0. And Mama is the one coming to do what? Suffer for it. But I tell you, Ghanaians are seeing the sign already. They are seeing this. You cannot hide a burning torch, not like electronic light, like an electronic torch, but you cannot put a burning flame under the bed. It will catch fire. Now it is catching fire. If you get on to read the news and everything on social media and Ghana Web and Opera News, the whole thing is that these people are now fighting among themselves. They are saying we are going to expose the government. We want to tell Ghanaians where they are keeping the looted monies. And I want the Operation Root or Operation Retrieve All Loots to go into details, to go into the corners and retrieve all these monies. The monies that have been stolen can do a lot for this country. And I am praying that Ghanaians are not going to be angry because we have seen the truth, we have seen the light, and we know where the wrongs are coming from. And if these people don't let out the truth, the Ghanaians, me, and the ordinary Ghanaian across the street is ready to fight for what belongs to him. Now, this government, Nyaya Biyani said, this government is going out of office in a few days. They are appointing people, giving contracts to people, and are paying people huge sums of money. But this is the same government that gave contracts to people and never paid. Why are they paying people now? Why are they giving contracts to people now? What are they doing to the nation Ghana and to the Ghanaian person? We have to look into this. This is not good. This is thievery. They cannot be able to live in this country after leaving office if they don't come out to say the truth. I am not inciting people, but individually, see, I am telling you this based on what I feel myself and based on a couple of people I spoke to and what they said. See, people are no more going to be told, go and attack this person or go and take what belongs to you. The hardship is already the commander-in-chief of these individuals. The hardship is driving people onto the streets to go and get what is theirs. Now Ghanaians are going to be demanding for the rights that have been stolen from them by these people, the Ghanaian youth. They will be asking for their rights. And this is the time they will be able to speak, because in the past, in this government, they've been gagged. You cannot say anything you want to say for fear of being killed, allegedly, for fear of just disappearing like that. And the next day they say, oh, yeah, will be watching Motor Forest. Yeah, who saw for her around 4:30. Ebebo 7 now, and we don't know where those things are happening from. Why those things are happening. Now, what is making me happy is the recollation of the results in the Abokobi Ablekuma Women's Development Center to the rerun of the elections. You see, this is going to be something that is going to make the NDC laugh, because it's going to mirror Atamil's time victory. It is going to mirror it, and we are going to be smiling all the way. We have to have the belief that Ghana is going to get back on its pivot. Ghana's centripetal, the center force that is missing, the economic center force that is missing is found, and we are going to be ourselves anymore. Yentumi ntua refer. Yentumi nhwe fie biom. Yɛtɔpon ya yɛde ma no. Edidi anopa. Enti me da say ya me sorry ntem o. Me sorry ntem a me didi ntem. Enti me sorry ntem. Me sorry be 12. Me boba kuguma na pure water na. Yes. This is the reality on the ground. So how do you expect me to be happy? 010. That is a justice. See, near course we nye minkwa aye nipa bebre. Wo sorry ntem obedi di ntem nti wo de da hotel ho ne fa wo phone. Na hwe ne obehwe. About 12 na wa pie na wa cha. Hey Charlie, if this is the first time you are waking up, they'll say, oh, and none of me holds, oh, me call jogging, me one call jogging, wish them. You are managing the 010. You're bre chronobo, the arrogance. Your honor moka chire says, can you kurumuha? Mama Befree office no jai 270 million in the state emergency fund or the say in case of any eventualities, yemfa so ano. Mama war office no now Ebola by. Ebola didn't get into this country. He started fighting it along the borders. MPP for say Mama was wasting money. Ebola hasn't come into the country and he's releasing money. Mama COVID every plane, every abrochie bagana ha. Yenim ni amudi yesika na ye. SAS state cushion fund na Mama DC on 270 million no. Ewo he yebre muba hu me swati kakra anka me ye fine man me bo makokra with grace se say ade e free ho be Mama nti me honam beto so ye mbompa ye ma no we na ehia na adwuma 24-hour economy ni Saudi abae no eno so ade bi a ama makoma to me yem. Because if you watch carefully, the countries where we used to go, we go for to borrow money. They run 24/7. Go to Houston. Houston is a quiet country in the US. It's a quiet, is it a county or this thing? In the US, very quiet, but that's where they make the most money. It is all an office, what they are making money. And we go there to take money. And we want to do the same thing, and these people are fighting it. Most sorry, I'm seeing fast here, no mamu. They said they are mamu. What's the reverse? So I will end it here and say thank you very much for being a part of this year's victory for Ghana.
Sure. Thank you very much. We're still here, though. We have about 17 minutes to wrap up the show. And we'll use that 17 minutes to, look at a few other things, and then we'll be out of here. But let's go back to Justice for a second. Justice, we hear one story on Amakutufor and the chieftaincy issue that was going on. Great. Tell us about that story.
Your honey in say Amakutufor, Dr. Amakutufor, na oye secretary edema economic management team, a media mechano economic mismanagement team led by Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. Ya say odi ahimye bi wo niwa dubiase. Na niwa dubiase hene ogu ahira ene ma no saa akonwa no. Ekuru nketewa ni bi na ode no kwoto ano. na yɛsɛ papa yi sɔre a no ɔte aburukyire yɛfrɛ no a wɔma yɛfrɛ no meeting bi a wɔma na ɛsɛ ɔmo ka no sɛ wato nananom ntam sɛ nana frɛ wɔ ahemfie na sɛ wɔamma a wato nananom ntam na ɛkɔbaa sɛ nana sɛ ɔrekɔ ahemfie na mɛka ahemfie a na ɛyɛ manhyia ɔte kɔkɔɔ soɔ otumfoɔ ɔsɛ tutu abɛbi ɔtɔ so mmienu na ɔmo di akwasideɛ a na ɛwɔ sɛ odi ogu ahyira akyi ne wadu bi asɛ maa hene na odi n'akyi no nkɔ ne ne kɔ ɔfa fon frɛ no a ɔsɛ ɔne dr alhaji mahmud bawumia ne nam sane sɛ saa da no na dɔkta nso so ɛrekɔ otumfoɔ aso ɛyɛ na ɔne no akɔdi akwasideɛ no nti ɛno ɔne no ankɔ ɔne dr mahmud bawumia ne kɔɔyɛ ɛna ɛno nso so ka ho bi ɛno nti ɔhene yɛɛ sɛ ɔbɛtu no ɛna ɔfrɛ nsɛntwerɛfoɔ ma a gh news now yɛn nso so yɛtwe yɛn cameras ɛkɔɔ bi a saa ruling no mprempren a yɛka sɛ ahete over 200k ɛwɔ tiktok ɛkɔɔ paa na ɔhene kasa no wɔ se wabɔ no ato hɔ a na nka wɔhwɛ sɛ nka dr moakotofoɔ ɛbɛsesa na nka dako wafrɛ no sɛ nana yɛmeyɛyɛ biara fa kyɛ me na yɛntoa so na nka yɛmmu man no nanso wamfa anyɛ asɛm even ɛda a na yɛba bɛtu no a ɔmode sɛmɔ letter kɔ maa no sɛ yɛasama no ɔmmra na yɛntu no no saa da no wama na wɔte aburukyire waba ɛna nana no gyina ne tumi so ɛna ɔdi tuo no ɛma yɛn nso so yɛdi akyire ma a ɔmo kɔtwa a ɛyɛ odwa gu no so ɔmo kɔtwa adwa gu no so na ɛsɛ awɔ amammerɛ kwan so no yɛtu no a ɔnyɛ de hyɛ na nana koraa ɛkasa no wɔsa kyerɛ mu sɛ na nka adehyeɛ wɔ hɔ nom a na nka yɛde wɔn di akonnwa no a na nka yɛ yie nanso ɔhwɛ amoakotofoɔ di bere a ɔwɔ wɔ aban mu na n'aban saa wɔ power na nka ohu ne sɛ nka obetumi alɔ bi ama ɔmo anya kyɛfa ɛyɛ national cake no nka niwa du bi ase nso so anya kyɛfa nanso sɛ na ɔde daadaa no ɔgye akonnwa no wie yɛ no a wanyɛ biribi amfa ɔman no mpuntuo ho biom ɛno nti no ogyina ne tumi so tu no ama ɔmo kɔtwa anwa agu no so ɛno akyi na ɛnya ne ntee sɛ dr moakotofoɔ asa asoma ne nkurɔfoɔ ama ɔmo akɔ adubi ase ɛyɛ the whole asantema mu hanom agona asono abusua no ɔmo ti yɛsɛ ɛhɔ na ɛhyɛ ama wakɔ nananom nkonnwa dam ama ɔde national security foɔ kɔɔɛ ɛma polisifoɔ nso so kɔɔ hɔ bi ɛma ɔmo kɔtoto atuo ɛma nkonnwa a ɛwɔ hɔnom ɔmo bu pono ani ebubu ɛsesa nkonnwa no de kɔɔɛ apono a ɛwɔ hɔnom nyinaa ɔmo tutui ti ɛno nso so yɛ saa akɔ hɔnom biom ɛkɔhwɛ deɛ na ɛkɔ so wɔ hɔnom na dr moakotofoɔ no ankasa no ne nkurɔfoɔ frɛ yɛn sɛ nka ɔmo nso so pɛ sɛ ɔmo nso so ɛhyɛ ɔmo side of the story nanso yɛntumi ne ɔmo ani nkɔmmɔ nipa no yɛ sɛ nka ɔbɛsa afrɛ yɛn ama yɛaba nanso yɛante ne nka biom nti dr moakotofoɔ asɛm no baabi a ɛwɔ no no seesei a yɛkasa deɛ wɔnyɛ ɔhene wɔnyɛ nana moakotofoɔ sɛdeɛ na yɛka no no nti ne din dɔkta no wasa akɔfo a seesei wɔyɛ dr moakotofoɔ a seesei economic management team no ɛni hɔ
bio na just is na me dey say na ɔngye ntom yɛkasa yɛtu na deɛ so na ɔngye ntom ɛma kɔyɛ pinkyɛn bebree ɛma wɔn kasa
ɛno
ka sɛ nkurɔfoɔ no kɛsɛ ɔmo bɛfrɛ ɛno no akosi sɛ sɛ wagye atom sɛ yɛtu na deɛ so anaa
seesei wagye atom sɛ yɛtu na deɛ so nti seesei no wɔyɛ ayi biara wɔsɛ dr moakotofoɔ ɛnka ne wɔyɛ wɔsɛ nana nti seesei no deɛ ɔnyɛ nana biom ɔyɛ dɔkta wagye atom
I see. Yo, Justice Abedo CP, I got 12 minutes, but 12 minutes, young fan share in the coming year. What are we going to expect from iCulture TV, Radio Culture, GH News now? And then I expect it from you as the lead reporter now.
Say no, the Ghana for any GH News now, young followers, both TikTok and YouTube, no, or more expected from us, no. say no you better akọ grounds studio works no be kakra bi you better akọ grounds you know mo benya more interactions na omo so etimi aka bi esan say ye G8 news now the omanfo no ehwe no eno na ye de ma omo enye de ye ankasa ye pe eno nti no ye better akọ horum say de na ye street parliament no ye beto aso na street parliament yakọ horum na omo so akire o madwen nti no street parliament yɛbɛtoa so na yɛne ɔmanfoɔ ɛm sɛ yɛbreki kakra na ɔmanfoɔ nte street parliament na ɔmo nte yɛn nka nti no yɛwura 2025 a yɛbɛtoa street parliament so nti no studio works no bɛyɛ kakra bi na afei no both drive time ne true to power yɛsei no G8 news now Ghana hanom deɛ no ɛm sɛ yɛ studio B ha na yɛ GHI drive time with Besmakapia Synergy and True to Power with Justice Marfo. Nti saa programs ni mmienu no yɛbɛkɔ grounds. Na no kora na asantoa ɛyɛ Singaton no. Asante region ha deɛ no na nka yɛpɛ sɛ nka yɛkɔ na nka yɛkɔba bɛte yɛne management di nkɔmmɔ nam sɛ ɔmo ahoboa no ne yɛyɛ ahoboa no na mmɔ abura. Aha yɛamoa yɛn ho yie. Nti no next year 2025 no Ghana for ɛhwɛ no mu sɛ yɛwɔ nipa pii a yɛde brɛ wɔn aha to wɔn hwɛ yɛn nim.
Fantastic. And now on the political scene in Sono, Benya new government. She say, for instance, now what program they are putting Truth to Power. You are very critical of the government in power. No, she say, Benya new government. Are you still going to be speaking truth to power?
The number still remain the same. 88. What I know is still now 88. Sana Truth to Power tie. Yes, Sano. We will still speak truth to power. Say ya hensem say ya political. Ni nyina ye bɛka no credit akyire to me. Say de yitimi ka no credit kyerɛ Dr. Mwakutufo. Ya ka no credit kyerɛ Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. John Dramani Mahama ye bɛka no credit akyerɛ no. Isan say ɔno no ɔwɔ records bi wɔ hɔ no mu a wo criticize na ne bufu on te say Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Ai Manase Azuri ma ye nya ne ntie sɛ wo compare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne John Dramani Mahama. Akufo-Addo ye ya no ɔmo ya bɛkyɛw. Ɔse 2015 and 2016 na criticize Mahama no otimi da pa after say wako tweet bibi wɔ Twitter no otimi da papa na Mahama kra sa ma ayi security personnel sa abɔ ne ho ban sɛ obi ankoye ne bibia nti wɔn de yɛ nim sɛ yɛ
launch akɔtɔ ne book ni bi
akɔtɔ ne book ni bi aha nti wɔn de yɛ nim sɛ ɔba press freedom ne de
Obeto Samia.
They say what the Samia.
Wow.
True to power.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. But
true to power.
Now one angle so I may share say. What say? Good. But one angle so I'm perceiving when they say speaking truth to power, no. Speaking truth doesn't always mean being negative towards the government, right?
Yeah.
Because the government knows, so not say, oh yeah, there was so yeah. Of course, that's what we want. And we are not going to be negative against that government. Some way there, I will say, you can sure say yes, but again, John Mahama no government now, but and yet John Mahama and Kwana Oba government Ghana. He's coming with a team. Any of those teams will able to me are involved in one or the other thing, right? And we will be here to speak the truth always. Always. We are not aligned to any political party. It just so happens that the NDC seems to have the wind in their sail. They used to be doing things aligning with what we all want. Until you will find us with a tone that seems to be, commending them. Every point, we'll say it as it is. We're not here to do anybody's bidding, right? So, Madam CP, thank you very much. Now, I saw Jackson Asankwa, and Gerhardt wasn't here today. But anyhow, before I back on, last words, that's it. Before we sign out for today, last words. Okay, 7 minutes. For Mube 3, Bina, young father,
okay.
I can round it up.
Okay. Mesrɛ sɛ obi bia Ghanafoɔ no yɛnyɛ sɛdeɛ abankɛmfoɔ so ma na baben ɛkaeɛ no results no aba John Dramani Mahama na yɛ president yɛnye ntum sɛ ɔno no yɛ ma mpanyini na nkurɔfoɔ bi taa ka sɛ Mahama baeɛ ɔmmɛyɛ hwee ɔba a ɔmmɛyɛ hwee saa nipa no wɔkasa a na ɔndɔ Ghana because ɔamɛyɛ hwee a wo so wote ɔman no mu deɛ ɛbɛkɔ biara wo so wotim bi nti no yɛmfa mpaebɔ ntaa n'akyi na yɛn support sɛ saa ne policies na ɔde ba no 24-hour economy no ɛne saa oral team bi na ɔde ba no yɛbɛhwɛ sɛ ɔmo bɛhwɛ na ɔma yɛ adwuma no sɛdeɛ sɛ na ɛsɛ nti no deɛ mɛtumi aka nyinaa no yɛmmoa ban no na yɛnɔ ɔman Ghana
Yanka oral no was some quick and send it around the app justice. Yanka oral no was some really quick. Oral no, but to say all of a sudden, who to say, I didn't yanko and say when Yangiska, I had the second year somebody. But all of a sudden, overshare a Fred share couple months that here, Okujeto Blackwa. What do you mean by unconstitutional? We will make it constitutional. We will make it constitutional. They can go to parliament easily and pass a bill to make it constitutional. I mean, to make it something that they can do. And it's a big deal. But my point is that
they have the
all
numbers.
Of a sudden, they do. And again, if Nana Akufo-Addo can appoint a special prosecutor, yes, but I'm saying justice. If Nana Akufo-Addo can appoint a special prosecutor, why can't John Mahama appoint a committee to look into these things? And yet, to me, it's not even something that we have to debate. Because again, push comes to shove, they'll take it to parliament. They have the numbers to just, ride through that. But they may kind of say, all of a sudden, there's a lot of attack on Okujeto Ablakwa as the chairman of that committee. All of a sudden, there's a lot of kickback against the whole idea of the Operation Recover All Loot. Why do you think that is so?
I said, baby, we see free baby a jaw. Into any point who is Tim ya bay, me too betry. On them who say a deputy finance minister, Mamma Tiano. Sorry. So, Asante Achem ho baby. On also criticizes your own constitutional. Now, say, oh, her uncle for way or more attack or right team. Then say, or more no, or Bokahubi. Saa I causing financial losses ni nyinaa no ɔmo nyinaa no ɔmo ka ho bi nti ɔmo feel guilty ɛno ntiti na ɔmo yɛ saa nneɛma no nyinaa no sɛ wate aseɛ because sɛ ohun ni mu a yɛsɛ wopa afase a na pra wada pra no okyiri bayerɛ nti woba okyiri afase nti woka sɛ mafase ayerɛ a ɔno pra na mfa no ho so nti no maame no wɔn nso so wɔ finance ministry hɔ bi finance ministry ya nso so na
justice maame so membu be baako yɛsi sɛ tipaeɛ aba kurom a kɔtɔ deɛ ɔfa ho bɛn
kɔtɔ deɛ ɔfa ho bɛn wɔni ti
ɛna ne ti akɔrɛ ne ya nti ɛka tipaeɛ asɛm a woni ti a nti ka wo deɛ ka wo nam wo beebi ɛso kɔtɔ agye asɛm na tare ne ni ase dendenden
and ɔmo feel guilty a ɔmo hu ne sɛ saa oral team sɛ ɔmo start sɛ ɔmo yɛ prosecution a ɔmo bɛkɔ jail because saa maame finance deputy finance minister yi ɔmo ka ho bi na saa no parliamentary approval na ɔmo anya na ɔmo kɔ yi sika free consolidated fund mo de kɔ si national cathedral no mo de kɔ fund national cathedral no na wɔka ho bi ogyina parliament ɔne the late John Kuma defended sɛ ne kwan so ara no levy ba yɛ wɔn nyinaa gyina mu ka sɛ levy no ba yɛnkɔ IMF levy no ba yɛnkɔ IMF nti no ɔmo nyinaa ka ho bi finance ministry hɔ nso so deɛ yɛnim sɛ mo na mohwɛ ɔman no nyinaa yɛ sikasɛm so nti sika deɛ ɛm sɛ anwunu wɔ hɔ nom a ɔmo ho bɛkyerɛ wɔn ɛno nti na ɔmo yɛ saa nneɛma no nti no deɛ mɛka kyerɛ ɔmo ano sɛ sɛsɛ no atofoɔ sen kɛsel atofoɔ sen ɔmo nkɔ na ɔmo nkɔ pempam na ɔmo nsiki for parliamentary approval na ɔra no mɛyɛ constitutional na yɛhu sɛ yagye atum sɛdeɛ office of the special prosecutor kisi agyapɛ da no a yɛnka ne hwee a sɛsɛ wada ne toothless bulldog yi Yeah, who said with me the anoma bakura kujina court every need that. Into no sa alright to me. Ukuja to black one so yenim say oh one na on na ma ye hu say Kufuado say o dware wiem. Waso won timi nware wo ye play mu. Won timi nware wo form. Obedware wiem. Say wa broni on nyina ne adugya mfi nsam nyina on na ma ye hu ye. Martin Kpebu nso so yenim say wono nso so ye lawyer ono nso so na ọka no credit chire to me a ọka no kre pa nti saa timi yenim sɛ o sika bi a akodi kamu a amfa yie no ɔmo betumi agye ama yɛn Sputnik V vaccines a ɛbaa yɛ
Okay.
Johnson and Johnson ɔmo kɔfa baa yɛ nyinaa mpane a ayi Malaysia foɔ sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo mpɛ no yɛde yɛkɔfa baa yɛ ayɛ sɛ yɛn nko ade yɛtɔn maa yɛn World Bank foɔ sika ɛbaa yɛ nyinaa no ɛwɔ sɛ ọmụ bebu akọnta kyerɛ yɛn sɛ sika no ɔmo de yɛ wei ɔmo de yɛ wei ɔmo de yɛ wei ɛno nti na ɔmo ataake ɔwura team
Perfect. Justice, Medawa CP and all the rest of the team, I'm gonna drop it off because I think said there's an issue with the connectivity, you know. But let me take this opportunity to say thank you very much for all your hard work in the course of the year. Team Nina from Gayhart in the north, Richard, Jackson, Synergy, Abdul, the social media team, Nobia, and the other guys that are coming to join the team now, coming next year, yeah, there will be us. And I can only say, we have the very best for you in the coming year. So thank you very much for joining the live stream today. See you next Saturday. Next Saturday, live stream, 2 hours of live stream every Saturday. But in between, of course, for Radio Culture and iCulture TV, we'll be putting material on there as well. So please do follow us, and we will be back next week. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I'm out. Thank you, Justice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Richard. We're out.